What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be doing a repaint that I have been wanting to do for a long time now, and I'm finally getting a chance to sit down and do it, and I am really excited to start on this thing. So I'm going to be doing the T-Rex from Dinosaur Revolution. This is the skull face T-Rex. I think his name is Jack. But he looks so awesome. I absolutely love this design, and I have been wanting to put that skin on a Mattel T-Rex for a very long time, so today is the day we're going to do it. And if you guys like to paint along with me, this is going to be a relatively easy repaint video. It's going to be primarily dry brushing. I'm going to be using the airbrush a couple of times throughout the video, but if you don't have one, don't feel intimidated. No worries. You guys can paint all of this by hand. So I'm going to go ahead and get this T-Rex out of the box, and we're going to get started with this repaint. Let's do this. Alright, so I have Jack all primed and base coated in black all in one go, and now what I'm going to do is start dry brushing. Now I've got my darkest brown that I've got here. This is burnt umber, just basic acrylic paint, nothing fancy here, and he's going to get a brown dry brush from head to toe. And dry brushing is basically putting the paint on a palette, getting it on your brush, wiping most of it off, and then you want to hit all of those high areas on the sculpt, leaving the black in between all of the little lines and everything like that. And I'll give them a couple of passes with the dry brush here until I have achieved the brown tone that I want, and then I can move on to the white skull. Alright, so I've got some silly putty on deck here, and I have masked off the eye sockets and on both sides and the tip of the nose, sort of going with that skeleton vibe. And I'm going to go in with some Brain Matter Beige. Now, you don't have to use this particular brand. Any sort of off-white would work, like an ivory or a bone color or anything like that, like an antique white. You really just want to start off light. You really want to gradually build your skeleton tone up. So I'm starting off very light pressure, very light dry brushing, hitting all those raised areas and sort of giving it that ghostly bone appearance that it's got. Since the sculpt is just a tad bit different than the one from Dinosaur Revolution, we have to sort of give it the impression that it's a skeleton, you know. So you want to start off very, very light with your off-white color, and then once you're done, you can go back in with a brighter white, and you can really hit all the highlight areas, and it really takes it to the next level, giving it that skeleton appearance. Now I'm going to start working on the pattern on the back of the Rex, and I'm going to be using this sculpted ridge line right here as sort of a guide to help me kind of figure out where I want to put that pattern. So I'll go in first with a fine tip brush with some of that off-white paint on there, and I'll just draw in, sort of trace in a white line going down that ridge. And then I'll go in with a dry brush, and this is a very, very dry brush, and I'll start lightly building up that pattern all the way down the side, hitting the raised areas on either side of that white line to give it the appearance that it kind of has that rib cage bone look, I guess, that design that he's got. At least that's what it looks like to me. It sort of looks like a skeleton rib cage. But either way, just sort of dry brush those highlighted areas right there, you can see, and it sort of gives it that general effect. And as I get down closer to the end of that white stripe, I'm pressing very, very lightly with the brush, just fading it out so it almost just fades right into the brown. And there's just a really smooth transition right there. And we'll jump down to the lower jaw and do the same exact thing down there, just hitting all those raised areas with that off-white. Now I'm going to jump over here with the airbrush, and I'm going to hit his underside with a nice dark red. It's not super bright, but it's just enough to kind of give some warmth on the belly. And I believe that he has some red tones underneath in the images that I've seen. So he's going to get a hit of red. But if you don't have an airbrush, you could obviously just dry brush this with a dark red, or you could leave it brown as is and not even worry about it. So now it's hold your breath time, going in with some scarlet red. We're going to hit that eyeball with some red, and then I'll put a black dot in there, and then I'll add a white dot for a light catch. And of course, those are going to get glossed over once they're all dry to make those eyes pop and bring this thing to life. And of course, the last step will be painting the claws, and those are going to get a couple of coats of Citadel bone color. And I'll be doing the feet, the hands, and of course the teeth in the same color, but I'm not going to be painting the inside of the mouth. Just going to leave that factory plastic color, and then I'll go back in with my airbrush and do a nice transparent burnt umber fade at the base, and then fade it out lighter as it gets to the tip of the claw. I've been all about this design lately, and this one actually looks really awesome on this Rex design, so that's what we're going to go with. It's all about that rule of cool, guys. And that is going to pretty much do it for this repaint. I'm going to seal him up and then head over to the photo booth and take some cool shots. Want to thank you guys for sticking around and watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it and it has helped inspire you to get out there and do your own Dinosaur Revolution repaint. If you do, remember to tag me over on Instagram at Ted Brothers. I always love to see what you guys can come up with. For more Jurassic Park related content, you know where to find me. Links will be in the description box below. You guys take care, and I'll see you in the next video.